Hello pirates! This video will show how to build Ifrit. You can use the exact same build to create a Poseidon Vanguard if you got that one from the Forsaken mission this week. I'm going to start taking a look at the ship overall. You see it's only 15 hours to build. Has good radioactive reload and a thrower range and radioactive damage, so it's pretty much a radioactive ship. You can use with launchers, but ideally with throwers. Defensive wise, it only defends against radioactive, but it starts at a point where it's already immune even to a shockwave from the Phlogiston 2 turret, which deals over 1 million damage radioactive, but this one is already out of the box, ready to go against that. So how do we build the rest? Let's start with armor. First of all, we're going to use 2 MC plate 2. That's going to build up some ballistic and penetrative deflection. Going on the same vein, we can only use 2 of those, so now I will downgrade to the MC plate 1 and use 3 of those. There. 3.9 million ballistic deflection, 2.3 million penetrative deflection. This should be enough against pretty much every base out there. Even if they have the 5 fire supports and the right faction. So now we're good against 3 damage types. Let's get good against the rest. We'll need some explosive, concussive, and corrosive. So the way we can get explosive deflection going is with a missile. Let me filter the weapons here. Missiles. You can pick either the D55M or the D55X. I prefer the X because it deals 2 damage types, both explosive a little bit and penetrative. And as you can see, it adds 105,000 explosive deflection. So if we use 2 of these, now we have 210, which should be enough for most circumstances. It certainly defends you against the Cold Snap or the Omega rocket. I'm not sure it's going to defend you against every sort of hope and rocket and that onslaught that you can find out there. But my experience with that ship, I used it in Bounty, was very, very sturdy. Now we need some concussive deflection, just in case you face some torpedoes or the Omega Gatling gun. We'll get that with a rocket. 2 options. L93 CT, more ship damage. The L100 CT. This one does a lot more wall and building damage. So it's your choice. Do you want something that has a chance of hurting the ships? I think it's going to do minimum pass-through against the ships anyways. So unless you're looking for a guard prepper, I'm going to go with L100 CT. So now we address some concussive deflection and explosive deflection. We're now missing corrosive, which the thrower that came with the Ifrit will give us. A wildfire thrower. Since this is a thrower ship, I'm going to load up on thrower. So now we have very good corrosive deflection whenever Kixeye releases corrosive turrets. I don't know when that's going to happen. So you see, we now have all around good deflections. And we have a decent damage from the throwers and the missiles and even the rocket. Why not? Let's start with the basics. We need speed. So I'm going to go and pick speed system 6. And we need turret defense. I'm going to go and get siege battery 4. This is the setup I was using during Bounty. I didn't have the other 4 specials. I didn't have a tactical module. And you know what? Was doing really well on its own autopilot on replica bases, up to like level 100 many times. I chose not to use the new special that came out with it, the radioactive ignition. I mean, this guy takes spread away, gives more splash and damage and whatnot. Instead, I wanted range. So to get extra range on the thrower, you use the polonium accelerator. This one will give you some extra damage too, some reload. The only thing you don't get is the extra splash and the reduction in spread, but you get range, and I like range. Since I have 2 missiles here, and I need splash for the thrower, there's a special that actually can make the missiles have a very good range, and at the same time giving splash to the throwers. It's a special that came out with the Gluttony. It's a lightweight special, gives range, splash, and penetrative damage. So now your ship will be doing radioactive damage from the throwers, penetrative and explosive damage from these missiles, and explosive damage from the rocket. Different ranges, but you get the idea. There's some synergy in there. Next up, a few choices now. There's no single correct answer. You could use Siege Targeting 4. And again, I'm building these guys to damage buildings primarily and just do minimum pass-through damage on the guards. But because of its resistances, this ship can actually sail past the guards on most bases. Not all bases, but most bases. So Siege Targeting 4, it's a choice. If you need more reload, you can give up a little bit of building damage for more reload and go with Siege Reloader. Or if you have the special here, AFT Razor Foils, you get a lot of building damage, 130%, almost as much as Siege Targeting. You improve the 2 missiles there with more accuracy, and everything gets more projectile speed. And it's a lightweight special. It's only 13% weapon weight versus the other guys. This is 25%, and so is the Siege Targeting 4, 25%. So I'm going with AFT Razor Foils, but any one of these 3 choices is good. Don't get too hung up on that. Final special. Again, it depends now on the tactical module you're going to pick. I want to do this ship with the brand new EMP module. So if you're going to do EMP overload, the EMP happens to stun your enemy turrets and guard when you take damage. So if you pick this one, you kind of want to take some damage on this ship, in which case don't increase the evade. And one choice if you have is this shielded circuitry. You get your tactical field resistance, slow and stun resistance. So that's a choice. The other choice is shielded tactical system. This one will give you slow resistance and tactical field resistance, but no stun resistance. So if the guard has any EMP overloads, you're screwed. It's not a good choice. You need something that also gives you stun resistance. Tactical insulator, it's not going to do the job because it gives you evade and only tactical field resistance. So if you pick this one, now you're lacking stun. You don't have any stun resistance on your fleet. So ideally, you're going to get either Agility System 4 or preferably shielded circuitry. So if you have this one, use it. If not, you're going to have to compromise and go with something else. Maybe drop the Razor Foil and do a combination of Agility System 4 and you do less damage here. But now you can put the Tactical Insulator. So now you have everything. Stun, but you're high on evade, so probably not ideal for the EMP overload. But that's another setup. I'm going to go back to the setup I'm building. Okay, so this is my setup. It says I'm maxed out because I don't have any more of these, but I'm actually already refitting that Ifrit, so I don't need an extra one. If you build 2-3 ships like this, it's extremely strong. Vary the tactical, like one EMP overload is probably fine. On the other ships, you likely want the tactical focus to do more damage, or even the Haymaker drone module. Let's now compare how this setup that takes 14 days to build, how that stacks against turret damage. So as you can see, this is the build I was just showing you guys. And ballistic deflection is at 3.9 million. Even ballistic turrets with 5 fire support and the Forsaken faction, none of them gets past 3.9 million. So you're safe against ballistic turrets, even in the worst possible case. Penetrative, 2.3 million deflection. Looking at the Vulture, Executioner, and Halo, you're good against Executioner, you're certainly good against Halos, and you're good against regular Vulture shots. The critical will hurt you, but the good news is you should be able to outrange the Vulture. And a couple countermeasures in your fleet on another ship will do a good job at neutralizing it. Next one, Explosive, 210, you're good against Cold Snap, Catastrophic Mortar, and I'm not showing here, but you're also good against the Omega rockets. Corrosive, no corrosive turrets at the moment, no corrosive Omega weapons. The Adder Strike does like 25,000, so you're good there too. Concussive, 105. It takes care of the Omega Gatling gun. Gluttonies with Nightmare torpedoes will destroy your fleet, so this is not good for open water combat against Gluttonies with Nightmares. But for base hitting, it's okay, it's good. And radioactive, 1.6 million, meaning you're completely immune even to the shock wave from the phlogiston. So like you see here, this is a good all-arounder ship for today's game environment. You build this way a couple of them and you complement with like a Poseidon Vanguard, for instance. You can build exactly the same and it makes the Ifrits even stronger with more radioactive damage. I hope that was useful for you, pirates, and see you next time.